but I have over 800 prints, and they're
Thanks for tuning in to the ProfitDig radio show / construction show. We're glad you guys are watching it. Mm-hmm. I'm here with Chris Work. Jerry Work is no longer behind the camera. He's joining us at the table. We've got Jeff Spencer. He's producer Jeff right now.
Jeff.
Yeah. And then we're very lucky to have Seth Williams here with us today.
Hi, bro.
Hey, man. So I kind of panicked everybody. I said, you know what? I got a topic, and I'm not going to tell you what it's about. But I know there's a hobby that you have that I really think Chris and Jerry might find very interesting, and maybe even some of the viewers. But you have a very large poster.
Oh.
Poster, please.
Yeah, so
don't be scared.
Well, so I'm very artistic. All my tattoos I've designed. I'm very art driven. Even when we were in high school, my parents begged me to go to art school. So that's why I love working.
Did you come up with all these designs?
Yeah. Chewbacca Alf was my original.
That's pretty good.
Original designs. Everything. So I worked with an artist, but I'm very art driven, very artistic. But when I first started going to concerts, being a big guy, nobody ever had T-shirts in my size. So when we were going to Starwood and everything, all these bands and everything never had T-shirts. So I would just buy posters. And I was even the kid that would go to like Blockbuster, and they would have the box or the video store, and like they had the box of old movie posters there for like $5. That was me. I bought those posters, and I would have my room just full of these movie posters. And I've always loved movies because where I grew up in Burns, I didn't have cable. I didn't have like 2, 4, 5, 6, 17.
The weather was right.
30 on a good day.
If the wind blew just right, might get 30.
Exactly. So I just started collecting. I've been collecting comic books since I was a kid. I'm big. Y'all know what Predator is? The Predator, like the movie Predator, come out. Yeah, I'm a big hunter. My dad's a big hunter. When I saw that when I was like 5 years old, thought it was the coolest movie ever. So I collected comic books, and then the older I got, and I was going, like I said, to these concerts and stuff, and nobody had any T-shirts in my size, so I just started collecting posters, and I ended up with a bunch. And then around 2010, it started probably about 2010, 2011, because of social media. All these people started figuring out that all these old concerts we went to, their T-shirts are all ripped up and worn out. That here's these posters. Oh my goodness, they had posters at that show. Oh my goodness.
That's because nobody ever bought the posters.
Nobody ever bought the posters.
Cool.
And I always bought 2. You always buy 2. You never buy 1. You buy 2. So I ended up
keep one in mint condition.
That's right. You gotta keep one in the box. You gotta play with one.
Yeah.
So I ended up with at that time lots of posters I had, and then I started all these groups and Facebook groups stuff started coming up. They started doing auctions, and then now, fast forward to today, now they're traded like stocks and bonds. It's kind of crazy.
Really?
Yes, it's kind of crazy. You know how they like flip cards and they'll do these. It's kind of crazy. Like
it's an FT. It's not an NFT.
It's a fungible token. I call it. My buddy, that's an artist in Colorado. He calls me the art pimp because I have over 860 prints in my collection.
Wow.
I've got some stuff that's like super rare. I have some originals.
You ever sell it?
I'm selling stuff now. Before I didn't, because when I bought 2, so I would start buying, and the certain artists at that time started the poster scene stuff started really like building up, and I saw that, and that's why I was just like, oh, this artist, I'll trade you what you got for this one, the one I got now. I'll trade you, instead of selling. And then I had friends from just being, going to all these concerts and stuff. Some of my homies that live in California, they would go to the West Coast tour, and then I would go to this side, and then we would just trade posters. And so I ended up with a network of not just me, but a bunch of people that collected posters. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like a grassroots scene.
Yeah.
Well, and so over the years, I have, like I said, it is really, really crazy how there's a lot of factors into, what it depends on, like what it would entail of this poster becoming a lot of money, ending up being a lot of money. It's the artist, it's the band, the dates, stuff like that, the size of the venue, different things. So I just kept collecting, and I still have a vision of something that I want to do. But I used to work, when I was a bouncer in Denver, I worked for this Grateful Dead bar that when you walked in the door, literally from top to like chair rail, all the way around was Grateful Dead posters. And it was probably $500,000 worth of art in this thing, right? And I worked there for a couple of years. I used to bounce hippies. So, and yeah, great. But I was like,
They probably didn't put up the bigger resistance, did they?
no, not at all. Like, hey man, I black that third eye if you don't watch out. You can't get enough crystals to get me. You ain't gonna realign your chakras when I'm done. Oh man,
That's fun.
So I just kept collecting. But I used to go to shows, and I remember like I could get them like after the show. I remember that I could get them at like set break, the posters and stuff. But now it got to where like certain bands, I would have to show up 5 or 6 hours before doors even opened to stand in line to make sure I got a poster
Because
they're hot, because they're so, and because they're it's kind of crazy. It's really crazy that these certain bands and these certain things have become so popular. But over the years now, I'm at the point now, I've been doing this for so long, that I have so many rare pieces that these artists, these big name artists know me personally. Like they personally know me. And now I can honestly say that I have, with like Tyler Childers and stuff, I've actually helped them set up and do their poster game this year. This year is coming up. I actually set them up with all of the artists that they're doing for all their posters and everything this year, and they had never thought about it until our merch guy come up to me last year, and he was like, I heard you was the poster guy. And I was like, I know a thing or two.
Yeah.
And I hooked him up with
7.5%.
Nope.
I'll get this whole thing going.
No, I want 2 of every post. 2 of every post. 2 of every post. That's all I asked.
It might be worth more in the long run.
Probably will be in the long run.
Did you get a signature on it?
So each one of them, so they'll do a limited edition run of like a couple of hundred or whatever, once again, depending on the size of the venue and stuff. But the artist signs them, their hand, and then, like I said, the design, the artist, the venue, I've bought posters. I've got some that are on my wall that I paid $250 for in like 2012 that are worth $4,000 now.
Wow.
Yeah, and but the thing is though, I'll never get rid of it. Like it's the ones that are on my wall. I'm not going anywhere.
I have that same issue. I'm a collector.
Jerry's a collector.
I wish I thought about collecting.
Lots of toys and comics.
I respect the collect what you collect. I love to see people
I have a
collections.
lot of vintage comic books, and
Really?
vintage toys. One of my most prized items is a complete set of King of the Hill toys in packaging.
You want to get rid of it? King of the Hill is my favorite show. Listen, I watch when I get mad at everybody. I watch King of the Hill because it makes me feel better when he's bitching at everybody. Gets mad at everybody.
Jerry has the entire collection. I know
That's
that.
my favorite show.
Really?
I never knew there was. I bought them off eBay. Paid what I thought was way too much at the time, but now that's been 15 years ago.
I didn't know I'm the biggest King of the Hill fan. You have no idea. I had no idea.
Yeah.
You want to trade some more? I got some stuff.
We might call that. Listen, I never want to sell anything.
I know. It's a
love
hoarder.
my
You
stuff.
hoard. You hoard.
Well, when you say hoard, I think trashy stuff.
Right.
If it's a finely curated collection of things that you love, you know.
It's still a pile of junk.
Well, it is plastic and
So I purchased I have some that I've purchased over the years for investments and stuff like that I knew were going to be worth a lot of money at the time. And then now that me and my fiance are at the point to where we're fixing to purchase a house and stuff, now I have a reason to, I'm turning paper into land. So now I've really stocked up. I've had my eBay account and stuff for, actually as I picked up my phone, I saw somebody bought something. I've been loading a lot of stuff up there, but I have over 800 prints, and they're in books, and I've got a big flat file and everything, and it's just a lot of these things are never going to see the walls.
Right.
And I've had to, what's helped me kind of let go of some stuff is, it's like what I've got on the walls I enjoy, and I've got some other things that are sentimental, stuff like that, but at the same time, like, I take a bunch of pictures of it, I owned it, I enjoyed it while I can, and let me pass it on to somebody else that will enjoy it just as much as you would. And that's kind of, that'll help with the hoarding.
And you get to buy land, so
turn one thing into another. Yeah, I know. But and what they say, like every time you walk up with a new gun and your wife's like, "Where'd you get that gun?" Well, every time a poster tube shows up in my house, what is this? Why is this poster tube showing up? I get the fifth degree. Like, I paid for this a year ago. It's been something that's been in the works. It's just now, it's just now showing up. It's fine now.
I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than buying a lottery ticket. You know how many lottery tickets I've ever bought in my entire life? I'm guessing zero. Not one. Yeah.
I've bought 2 or 3.
No.
Anytime it gets over $1 billion, I buy one, because why not?
I do that. When it gets crazy, when it gets out of hand, like, I still got away.
It works. Really, you have much better odds when it's a small.
Yeah, but I feel like it's throwing away money.
Not me in the pot. Yeah, not me in the pot.
I'm like, 50 mil after taxes. Get out of there.
I don't know if see, the thing is, I don't know if I'd ever want that much money. That's a lot of money. Then it's worse than owning a pickup truck. Everybody's your friend then.
Seth, I've already thought this through. Like, if I had $50 million, I would have to, give half of it away or do something really good with half of it, then I wouldn't feel guilty.
Fair enough.
About spending the other.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. My thing is, I just rent a cruise ship and just bring everybody I know, all my friends, and be like, I'm gonna pay your salaries for a week. I want you to come. Just come. That's like where we're gonna start there.
That sounds good. That sounds good. I like it.
I think everybody's had this fantasy of, if I did hit it big, what would I do with the money? And part of you is like, okay, we're gonna take some of it, and that's party money.
Yeah.
But the rest, at least in conception, you think I'll be responsible with this amount. Yeah. And this is my play or giveaway or charity.
Well, and so when you talk about the charity thing, I'm honestly, what I would just be like, I would want to set something up for my buddies, everybody, all their kids. Be like, here's something for college. Here's something for a car. Here's something so that way, instead of I'm all about giving back to charities and stuff like that. But
not big charities. It ain't going to the Red Cross.
Exactly. So when you say half of it, I'm one of those people. I would take all my buddies, all their kids, and be like, y'all all have this amount of money to you go to college, you buy a car, do whatever you want to with it. So that way at least you are giving back. And then
take the drama program at middle to the next level. All sorts of things.
I agree with the concept, winning the lottery aside. As far as giving, I like the concept of giving local, man.
Yeah.
You give it to some big bureaucracy, most of it gets soaked up.
Administrative.
So I have a small bank account that I put money into as my giving account. And I heard that a local school needed some guitars for a music program. So okay, there's my chance. Went and bought a couple guitars, made me feel good, and here's tangible stuff that a school is going to use, I like that kind of giving.
Well, helping the kids. Helping the kids. When I get older, they, like the rest of us, we get old and sour, but and as kids, you really can mold and really inspire kids. I've worked at, working with Burns Middle, but then also I worked at the Renaissance Camp for like 3 years. I taught kids how to fish down there. My dad owned a boat company. Cool. And, working with the kids and stuff, you really see there was a few choice kids that were, just hard to handle and stuff, but they really took to me. And once you see that you can influence those children like that, like, hey, be that person that just like shakes them up. You can't cook without stirring the pot. Well, stir the pot a little bit. Be like, don't be an adult. Be like, hey man, what's going on? Like, and I have a niece and a nephew that I absolutely love and adore. I'd do anything in the world for them. And it's just like, but I'm not their mom. I'm not their dad. I'm here to like, hey, if you got something to talk about it to me. I ain't telling you parents, but like, let's talk it out, and then, the trust of parents to be like, hey, this person's going to give them the right direction as much as possible with everything. And it does. It makes you feel good. So,
exactly.
But I love posters. I still collect. I'm selling stuff now on eBay. And it's been hard. It's hard. But at the end of the day, I try, like I said, I'm turning one thing into something else. So that way I can start working on, renewal, building a place that's, self-sustained and stuff like that. And that's my new passion. That's my new drive. I'm still going to keep things, but at the same time, like, I don't need this. You're controlled by your stuff. I ended up being controlled by paper. I have so much paper that I have to, humidity. I'm worried about the ceiling leaking. Lord have mercy.
It's not a big disaster.
I can only insure my stuff for so much, and that in itself that was a trial in itself because working for art, talking to some art companies and stuff. They were like, well, we have to bring somebody in to evaluate what you have, but it's hard to say, hey, I bought this for this, this amount, and then for $250, and now it's worth $4,000.
Right.
But they'll only insure it. They can only insure it for what I paid for it.
So you can't insure it for like current value.
So unless you pay somebody to come in that evaluates the stuff. So what I did was appraisal, exactly. Yeah. So what I did was I just did an umbrella policy on all of my stuff. So I was like, okay, and I have 2020, thanks to COVID, I went through and literally built a spreadsheet of not all my big hitters that are like worth a lot of money, and then I actually, I have the artist, the edition, what paper it's printed on, because that matters too sometimes, where it's at, what I paid for it, market value, and if something happens to me with my will and stuff, if they should sell it or who needs to go to, what needs to happen.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And so, because there's a lot of stuff that I want to keep that I won't pass down through my family. I actually have one piece that was painted live at the Grateful Dead 50 in Chicago in 2015. It's a live painting. That's actually, if you check out the Grateful Dead box set, the Dead 50, it actually shows it from Saturday night being painted. It's in there, and I'm actually donating it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So that way I can finally get my name in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's going to say, such and such says painted by. And donated by Seth Williams.
That's awesome.
But there, once again, it's the artistic aspect of it. And then, in my industry, creating lights and the, working with artists and stuff, it's really, I found it's, once again, conveying what, what image is in an artist's head to how to, make something. Exactly. And that's, that's another aspect of something that's kind of plugged into my life that's was unexpected of how to communicate with people and do stuff. So, being artistic, and a lot of super artistic people are usually on the spectrum, as as they say. And so it's hard for them to communicate stuff. So that's why it's like, hey, find 3 different, I always try to tell people, it's like, just doing tattoos. I have people text me and call me all the time about tattoos. Like, if you're working with an artist, give them 3 different images or 3 different concepts that you want to go with, and like points of reference, so that way they can kind of see what you're seeing in your head, and it works out a lot better.
What might flow for them too.
up here at Tempest, little girl, she did this one for me. I wanted like an X-Files. I wanted an X-Files thing. Yeah, trust
I noticed that earlier. I like that. That's pretty cool.
So, and I told her, I was like, first time I ever worked with her, and I was like, Jennifer, I told her, I was like, this is what I want. And she does stuff that's really flashy, it's different colors, real bright, stuff that I'm normal to. I was like, this is what I want. And she gave me 3 different images and was like, wow, this is great. And it makes things so much easier with any industry that you're working in, so. I'm glad you brought.
Yeah, I had you a little worried when I was saying like I got a video, but
well,
I'm not gonna tell you what it's about.
Oh man, you go to my niece, my nephew's room, their rooms, and they've got this one artist who took Winnie the Pooh and Star Wars and put it together and made Wookiee the Chew. It has a whole line of series. So when you go to their rooms, it's like you get Winnie the Pooh, and then you go to her room, and it's Princess Leia as like the rescuers, and she's holding the bear, and then the bear is in his room, and I'm like, y'all, this is great.
It's awesome.